Hey guys, how are we all doing? All right, so I want to deliver this message because I feel like there's a lot of people out there who can use it at this time, but also I'm going to be basically going over attachment, letting go, and how you can have it all. Okay, I'm going to go really deep into this so everyone can have a clear understanding of what I mean. So basically, what I feel is coming up for a lot of people at the moment is kind of a lot of old belief systems are falling away. That's the energetic influence. And for a lot of us, that means relationships, that means old ways of being, old ways of living, connections to like our job, certain people in our lives, all that kind of thing is coming up to be released. Even our like old ego attachments are being kind of taken out. And see, a lot of us have lived with this for so long that it, we want to hang on to it because it's familiar. But this is spirit saying like, no, like this isn't serving you anymore. You have to let it go, because by letting go, you create space for new. Okay. So what I want to talk about firstly is attachment, because as soon as we attach to something, we give it our power. Okay. So this can be a person, this can be a job, this can be an expectation, this can be a belief. The more you start to break down the illusions that have been created in your life so far, like for example, I come from like a split family. My parents split up when I was quite young. Now, for a long time, I carried this wound, but to me, from a young age, love was walking away. Okay, so I carried this belief that love leaves. So my attachment to that illusion and that belief saw every time I got involved in a relationship that had romantic potential or was a romantic relationship, eventually it didn't work out. They broke up with me, they left, whatever happened. And I kept convincing myself, well, that must have been real love because they left. Yeah. So the more I started doing the work on this, I was realizing like, hang on a second, no, like that's just my belief and my attachment to how love looks. Because whatever you believe and whatever you attach to, whatever illusion or belief you attach to, your mind will consciously go looking for that. Okay. So if you have that belief of like men are cheaters or women are cheaters or there's no good guys or there's no good girls or whatever, you're going to constantly go looking for that unconsciously, because that's a belief and you attach to that belief. So you keep finding that in the real world and then you keep being disappointed. Okay. So what's going on for us now is a lot of beliefs, especially with Neptune in retrograde, a lot of illusions are being distorted. Okay. A big one for me, I've noticed, is that I always carried around that romanticized view of love. Okay. Like the movies. Like there's one person for you and they're going to be the be all end all of your life. You're going to be super happy and nothing else matters. But what I'm starting to see is that in the real world, you can have many relationships. You can have many soulmates. You can have more than one twin. Like, yes, there will be that one person that like interrupts your whole life and you'll believe that they're that person you're meant to be with. And I'm not saying that that's not the truth. Like there is a person for everyone. And I fully believe that. But like I said, the more I started to detach from the beliefs of like a happily ever after and one person for the rest of my life, and that someone has to come and sweep me off my feet for me to be happy and fulfilled and all that kind of Hollywood movie stuff, the more I started to really dig into like why I wanted a relationship and everything else as well. Okay. So like I said, the more you stop attaching to the way you think your life should be and the way life should be and the way the world should be, the less kind of crap you have to deal with, right? And like I'm saying, detachment doesn't mean that it's not possible. Like I'm not saying that I don't believe in soulmates or twin flames or good relationships or happy and healthy relationships or like true love and all that stuff, because I do. I'm a hopeless romantic at heart. I would love my life to look like a Hollywood movie. But what I'm saying is that as I started to kind of go, you know what, like I can be happy now and someone will come and contribute to that happiness when the time is right, the more like free flowing my life started to be, and the more opportunities started showing up, and the more fulfilled I kind of felt within myself. So what I'm getting at here, guys, is the more you attach, like obviously I'm using relationships as an example because it seems to be the thing we attach to the most, but anytime you attach to a belief, a person, a situation, or a concept that when you get that point, you will be happy, or when you hit that point, you will be successful, or all your dreams will come true, or whatever it is. Like, I'm not saying that those goals and dreams aren't going to contribute to a great life and fulfillment and emotional fulfillment, but the point is when you rely on those external sources to fulfill you, firstly, you're giving your power to that, and that then has the power to leave as well. Okay, so yes, it has the power to bring you joy and happiness, but it also has the power to make you feel sad and miserable. Just remember that. Every positive comes with a negative, okay? So if you put all your eggs in one basket, you don't have room to move. Whereas if you kind of maybe invest in a relationship, but you know you're okay on your own and you don't have expectation of it being like the Hollywood movies, maybe that's when it turns out like the movies. You know what I mean? So, and again, like with a career, with anything, like if you're relying on that thing to make you feel good or make you feel whole or make you feel fulfilled, like I said, that has the power to make you feel like shit too. Okay? So this is what detachment is. And this just isn't people. This is like I said, situations. This is beliefs. This is illusions of what you've grown up to believe. So now's the time with these retrogrades to go in and really question, like, why do I believe this? Is it because society and the movies and all the self-help books said? Or is this something I truly believe? You know, where have I created this belief? The more you start to question you start to go, I don't need to give my power to that. You know, your priority should be power to you, first and foremost, as always. So that's just a little bit about attachment. So I hope that kind of makes sense, and how you can start detaching from these illusions that you've created for yourself, because a lot of the time, like, we're being called now to really start taking responsibility, and we have for a while, but taking responsibility for ourselves. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow when you can actually have to step up and say, you know what, I gave my power to that situation and it left me feeling like crap. You know, I stopped giving to myself. I stopped caring about my dreams and my goals and my health and my well-being for someone else. And so they packed up and left, and now I'm here to pick up the pieces. You know what I'm saying? So basically, as an example, last year, I wanted a relationship. I wanted to dance. I wanted to make a lot of money. I remember this one time I went to work I worked at a gym. I went to work and I worked really hard because I had to fill in for other staff. I went on a date because I was looking for a relationship. I then had dance because I love to dance and we were preparing for a performance. And then I remember going home to my housemate and crying my eyes out because I was so tired. I had given to everything else and forgot about me. If you've been following my page for a while, you'll know that I gave this up first and foremost because this was my absolute passion, and that was the first thing to go because that's usually what we do, right? Silly. So what I'm saying is as soon as my ex broke up with me, as soon as I was forced to come and deal with my shit and be on my own, the more I started to realize I have all this time in the world now to reconnect with myself and my passions. I detached from everything, got involved, and now things feel really good. Okay? So put yourself first. Give you your power first. The rest will unfold. Okay, so that's on attachment. Now I want to talk about letting go. So it's one thing to recognize your illusions and your beliefs and everything else, right? When people say let it go, there's a few different meanings behind this. This isn't about get over it. This isn't about let it go, forget about it. This is saying letting go and surrendering is your intention to your guides or the universe or spirit or God or whatever you relate to best, in saying, I don't want to carry this weight. This burden is too big for me and I don't need to carry it around. That's not you saying, I give up, I quit. That's you just saying, I can't carry this load on my own. So please, can you take some of the burden, get rid of what's not necessary and clean up what is, and then return it to me, when I can use it efficiently. So when people say to let go and surrender, to a relationship, if you've applied for a job and you're like panicking about if you're going to get the call or the whatever, it's more about like set the intention, do the work that you can control, i.e. if you're like, I really want to lose weight and get healthy, like go and do the actions, join a gym, get a personal trainer, buy some healthy food, cook some healthy recipes, those things, because that's showing the universe you're serious. But then when you've done what you can do, like surrender the rest, okay? Like if you fought tooth and nail for a relationship and it's still not working, that's when you've got to let it go. It's not to say that you've given up or the relationship's over or the well-being journey, weight loss journey is over or anything's over. It's not saying you quit. It's just saying, I can't do this all by myself, so I'm asking for help. And that's when your spirit guides come in and they clean up the mess. They get rid of what's not working. They heal what needs to be healed. And then if it's meant for you, it'll come back. Okay? So a lot of people are hesitant on letting go because they feel like they're giving up on something. They feel like they're just like, quitting or not. They don't feel like they're fighting hard enough or something like that. But that's so not the case. Okay? Set your intention that you can't do this all by yourself. Universe will come and pick it up where you can't, but you do the bits you can do. Okay, like that's again how it works. Same with cutting cords. Like if you're cutting cords to things, like it's not to say that you're like saying goodbye forever to that person or that thing, but what it's saying is like, I need to call my power back and they need to have their power back. And if we can just wash and heal and clean up this energy, then it can rekindle things on a nicer, neater, more joyful level. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's sort of about letting go, detaching, letting go, and then I've talked about having it all. So a lot of people feel that having it all means you have to literally go 100 miles a minute in every which way, okay? Now, again, for example, you might be really invested in your relationship and really invested in your career and your health and well-being goes out the door, okay? You don't exercise, you don't eat well, you're eating on the run, you're not sleeping properly, whatever. As an example, take that as you will. And then you suddenly think like, I really, I want to lose some weight. I want to feel good. I feel so tired and lethargic because I'm not eating right. But then you think, oh, where am I going to fit the time in around everything else? And as I said from my story before, I've done the same thing. But you can have everything that's a priority to you. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm getting at with you can have it all. But when I say have it all that means something to you. Yes, you can work and make a lot of money. Yes, you can have a side hustle business to say you're an entrepreneur. Yes, you can have a romantic love life. Yes, you can have children. Yes, you can go to the gym. Yes, you can fit in sleep and food wherever you can in there as well. But again, firstly, come back to thinking about what you want, why you want it. Is it for you and your soul and your alignment and your fulfillment? Or is it because society said you need to have all that? Or your parents believe that you should be married with children right now? Or that you should have a great paying job so you can afford that nice house in the suburbs to say that you made it, So when you can prioritize what you want, you can have it. And when it's truly aligned to you and your soul's desire, again, you will do the work and the universe will fill in the gaps, okay? So if you're pushing to like find a relationship to get married and settle down because that's kind of the belief system you grew up on, when realistically you want to kind of build this business so you can have financial freedom and independence on your own account, like focus on that, But if you do want it all, you can have it all. But again, prioritize. Give a bit of time to this, give a bit of time to that. Make things like appointments, make them important. I know for me now, when I do readings and stuff for you guys, if someone calls me out to go for a walk or to go for lunch, I say, yep, I've got a reading to do for my Instagram page first. Because again, once upon a time, I pushed that aside. That's important to me now. Again, yeah, I can meet you for lunch, but I'm going to go to the gym first because my well-being is important. Or yeah, let's meet at midday because I need a bit of extra sleep this morning. Make it a priority. The rest will fall into line. But you can have it all. Nothing needs to be sacrificed because when it's prioritized and aligned to you, it will happen. Okay, so I really hope that helps whoever needed it today. But just remember that this is your journey and your life, so you need to live it according to your soul's desires. Okay, so break down the illusions, detach from the expectation, the outcomes, and just enjoy now. You've been given a good hand. You're here, okay? Love you guys. Take care. Look after yourself.